I'd say one of the most asked for and recommended brands at the channel has to be Reebok, and I don't mean their classics, I mean their running shoes. Over the last couple of years, I've heard nothing but good things, you know, comfortable to run in, really functional and great value for money. So you'll be glad to hear that I've finally got my hands on a pair of Reebok running shoes to test and review, and it is a pair of their brand new Floatride Energy 4s. Now, it only arrived yesterday, but knowing what I paid for it, having a good look around the shoe and trying it on, I can totally see what everybody is raving about. Welcome back, folks. I'm Lloyd Purvis and this is Run4Adventure. If you're new to the channel, then welcome and thanks for watching. And if you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Come along and join the Run4Adventure family. But don't forget to hit that bell icon as well so you'll be notified when we upload any new exciting running content. It actually seems like a long time ago since we had any road running shoes on the channel, so it's great to have the new Floatride Energy 4s to test out today. It is a first impressions video, so we're going to give you a few facts and figures about this neutral daily trainer first, and then we're going to be getting them on our feet, hitting the mean streets of Hale and giving them their first test run. First things first, and we definitely need to talk about price. So if I hold this up closer to the camera, you can see that there's some really nice detailing going on in the upper. We've got a full-blown rubber outsole. We've got this really nice sort of embroidered Reebok on the heel cup, and it looks like a really quality constructed running shoe. I would say if someone took a pair out of the box, placed them in my hands, asked me to guess the price, I would have said somewhere around the sort of £120, £125 price point. I would have been a long way off because this shoe retails in the UK for only £75. So incredibly good value when you look at the quality. But, and it is a big but, I did even better than that. So when I went online to purchase a pair of the Floatrides, I just did a quick Google search for a discount code for Reebok, found one, and I got an incredible 25% discount off of that £75. So I paid the ridiculous price of £56.25 for this running shoe. When you look at the quality of the construction, obviously I haven't run in it yet, but just looking at it, putting it on my feet, feeling how comfortable it feels, that is a total bargain. Now, I haven't run in a Reebok running shoe before, so I went for my normal UK 9.5 on size. It seems to fit pretty good. Weight-wise, in that 9.5, it comes in at a pretty light 268 grams. It is running off a 9mm heel offset, and Reebok use at least 30% recycled or repurposed materials in the construction, which is always a good thing to see in this day and age. Starting off with the upper construction first, and you've got this kind of outer fabric that's pretty thin and almost transparent, so it's kind of like a membrane, so it should be really breathable, super lightweight. And then under that internally we've got a more sort of standard running shoe fabric that works up from the toe and actually connects to the side of the tongue in the upper to make it gusseted. When it comes to the tongue design, it's pretty thin, but we do have some nice padding down the center of it just to give the foot a bit of protection when you pull those laces down nice and tight. When it comes to the heel, we got a nice bit of substance there from a sturdy heel cup, and I'd say just the right level of sort of padding around that ankle collar and in the heel. The midsole is constructed using Floatride Energy foam, hence the name of the shoe, and on first inspection I would say it's very similar on feel and look to Boost compound used by Adidas. So when you push into it, it's very springy, very bouncy, and funnily enough, when I got an email notification that the shoe was on its way, it actually came from Adidas, even though this is a Reebok shoe. The one good thing I would say about it is that compound in the Reebok shoe feels a lot lighter than that sort of old school heavy Boost compound that Adidas use in some of their shoes. And finishing off, you get a full carbon rubber outsole. So good levels of durability and grip and traction in all types of weather conditions. And I have to say, it's a reasonably substantial outsole on a shoe that's pretty lightweight. Always a big fan to see a full rubber outsole. Don't like seeing lots of exposed foam on an outsole. I think it can cause durability issues. So again, another great touch. And you get All this for the princely sum of only £56.25. Incredible, really. So there you have it, a few details about the construction of the new Floatride Energy 4 from Reebok. But now's the time where we need to get these shoes laced up, and I have to say it, if it runs as well as it looks when it comes to the materials, the fabrics and the finishing, then this could be one of the best value running shoes of all time. But I suppose there's only one way to find out.
So if you join me out in the beautiful blue sky sunshine of Cornwall, we are having some amazing weather at the moment and the shades are on again. So if you're new to our road running first impressions videos, what we tend to try and do is get out and run a good 10k, nice and steady. I think 10k is a really good distance to get a nice feel for the shoe and how it's going to perform, but also it's not too long that you're going to have any problems with sort of hot spots or blisters running in a new shoe. So we start in Hale, we head down the beautiful King George's Walk here, and then we're going to make our way to the lovely village of Lelant. It's always pretty tricky to film first impressions videos with a road shoe because obviously roads, there's lots of traffic and lots of noise, but this route is pretty flat and pretty quiet. So let's get some miles in this shoe, see how it performs. Right, so that is 2.5 miles done already, and I can't believe how quick that's gone. Time obviously flies when the sun's out, but yeah, really steady 2.5 miles, 8-minute miling at the moment. I had a massage yesterday, so I always find it takes a couple of runs after a massage just to bed everything in and put a bit of tightness back in the body, which definitely helps for running. So just going really steady to begin with. It might only be 2.5 miles, but my initial impressions are, how did this shoe cost me only £56.25? It is supremely comfortable straight out the box. A really nice fit as well. I felt really well held around that midfoot and really well locked down in the heel. Obviously really early days, we've only done 2.5 miles, but come on, 56 quid for this shoe and how it feels on my foot, that is pretty damn impressive. But we're going to carry on in the run. I'll probably work one quicker mile in the middle to just see how the shoe performs when you up the tempo in it, but feels good on the foot straight out of the box. Can't believe it, at the price of the shoe, amazing value for money. Right, that is 4 miles ticked off and we've made it to the idyllic village of Lelant. Not quite the stunning views and vistas of our last first impressions review where we ran the Spigo on the Cornish coast path, but still a beautiful place to run. A great section to test out a new shoe on because it's pretty flat and you don't have a lot of traffic as a car goes past in the background. But no, it is pretty quiet. So we're going to up the tempo on this section. We're probably going to do a mile at a sort of 6:30-minute miling just to see how the float rides perform when you up that pace. Also, before we get started on that section, I'm currently wearing some of Saysky's new apparel for this season. It's just dropped. It is a collaboration between Saysky and a Danish fashion brand, Lefix. You can see there on the shorts. And also I get asked a lot whenever I'm wearing these shorts, what shorts are they? They are Saysky's Ranger shorts. So they're not necessarily a running short, they're a bit of a crossover short. So you can wear them casually, but they're still technical and they're great to run in. I use them a lot when we're away traveling. They've got a couple of big pockets on the side. They've got no internal brief either, so you can wear them with sort of running briefs really comfortable. But yeah, Ranger shorts, a really good multi-purpose short. And like I say, I always get asked about them whenever I wear them. But anyway, we're here to run. We're going to up the tempo for a mile and see how the shoe gets on. Right, let's get them legs turning over. So we made it to the turning point. We're heading back halfway through that quicker mile. sort of averaging about 6:30, 6:35. Struggling to breathe, I haven't done any sort of speed work for a long time. But the float rides felt good, straight out of the box, on that slower pace, really comfortable. When you pick the pace up, it feels pretty responsive, really well balanced. The 9mm heel offset doesn't feel too high, and like I said, pretty light, pretty balanced, pretty responsive. So great when running slow, really comfy, and pretty good when you're up the pace doing tempos or speed work. It's a win-win so far. Wow, that was a lot harder than it should be, and I am definitely nowhere near full fitness. I've been running consistently over the last few months, but it's all been pretty steady stuff just so I can get the body settled and sorted. But it's good to be back out up in the tempo and doing a bit more speed work. So that is 5 miles ticked off, 4 steady miles, and then 1 mile a bit quicker. And like I've been saying the whole time, super impressed with how this shoe is performing. And I know I keep going on about the price, and it is ridiculously cheap, even at the full retail price of £75. But even if I'd bought this shoe for £125, I'd have still been really impressed with its performance so far. Anyway, I think it's time to get back to the flat. We've got probably a couple of miles to go, so it's going to be more like a 7.5 mile run by the time we get home. And we've got lots of great stuff to talk about. Again, I can't believe it, £56.25 for the Floatride Energy 4, and it is performing like this on its first run. Unbelievable. Right, let's get back home. Well, I ended up getting completely carried away and the 10K went straight out the window. I ended up running 8.4 miles. So that has to be a good thing when you take a brand new shoe out of the box and you go out there and you run a longer distance than you were meant to. It must mean you are having a great time. It was also really good to be back out on the hard stuff, to run a bit quicker, especially that quicker mile really stretched the legs out. Although I must say, boy, have I lost some speed and fitness. Well, where do we start with this one? The first thing I've got to say is pretty good out the box comfort. So nice and plush wrapped around my foot. It wasn't one of those running shoes where I felt like I needed to sort of bed it or break it in. Just nice and comfortable straight away. No issues with any sort of irritation, hot spots, blisters, rubbing or any of that. Size wise, I stuck with my sort of usual UK 9.5, and I would say the Floatride is true to size. So I had good length in the toe box, nicely locked down around the midfoot and in the heel. So a pretty secure place to be. The only thing I would say is, out on the run today, I had to run a couple of quite tight bends at speed. Maybe as I took those corners, there was a little bit of movement in that upper. I don't think it's a shoe issue. I just think it's a foot shape thing. I'm quite narrow in foot shape, and there is quite a bit of width, quite a bit of depth in that toe box. So I'm not fully convinced it was really sort of locking down around my foot. But all in all, the upper was a pretty plush place to be. It felt nice and lightweight and very breathable. With the shoe weighing in at 268 grams, it felt pretty light out there on the run. And I think that kind of weight is a really good weight for our daily trainers. So it allows you to have enough shoe under your foot, enough cushioning, enough structure, enough protection for those weekly miles. But if you did want to use it for the odd speed session or tempo session, then the shoe is light enough to be fairly responsive. And when we ran that quicker mile, I think I averaged around 6:30 minute miling. The shoe actually felt pretty lively and it coped with it perfectly fine. Unfortunately, my body didn't feel lively, and that was the quickest mile I've run for some time. So, you know, we're getting there. We're definitely heading in the right direction. The Floatride Energy foam in that midsole performed well. It was comfortable underfoot, maybe not as bouncy as I was expecting. When I first pushed into the foam, when I took the shoe out of the box, I thought it was going to return a fair bit of energy, but it definitely ran a bit firmer than I first thought.
I wouldn't say in a negative, uncomfortable way. I still enjoyed the experience, and I still think that midsole performed really well, especially when you think this shoe only retails for £75. I tend to do most of my road running in a 4 to 6 mil offset on the heel. It seems to be the type of height that works best for me in those conditions, so I wasn't sure how I'd get on with a 9 mil stack height. I have to be honest, it really doesn't run like a 9 mil offset. It feels a lot lower than that, and if I had to guess, I'd have said it was about a 5 or 6 mil offset. So that heel doesn't get in the way. It's not a heel dominant shoe at all, and it actually feels very nice and balanced when you're out there running. Also really good to have that full carbon rubber outsole. It was nice and dry on today's run, but I felt nice and secure underfoot even when cornering at speed, and I think with that full rubber outsole, it should give you good levels of grip and traction in all weather conditions. So rounding up after my 8.4 mile run in the Reebok shoe, and I have to say, I am very, very impressed with the Floatride. In a world where running shoe prices have just gone a little bit crazy at the moment with the introduction of carbon technology, plated midsoles and all this new innovation, the Floatride Energy 4 is a very refreshing running shoe, and it's like a breath of fresh air. And if Reebok can produce a shoe of this quality, this finish, and a shoe that runs this well for only £75, it kind of makes me wonder why we are paying for some running shoes up to £270. Obviously, this was just our first run, and we're going to be getting a lot more miles in these bad boys over the coming weeks, and then we'll be bringing you our full in-depth review on the Floatride Energy 4. It's going to be really interesting to see how it holds up to those miles. You know, it's great to make a good value running shoe, but if you only get 100 miles out of it, then it kind of defeats the object. I don't think that's going to be the case. It looks like it's really well put together, so I think it's going to be pretty durable, but it'll be interesting to see how it handles those miles. And all I can say is a big well done to Reebok for making such a great looking, great feeling shoe for a really affordable price. And also a big thanks to you guys at home. You know, the reason I got the Reebok shoe is because you kept telling me how good they were, how much you had enjoyed them, and what great value for money they are. So thanks a lot to you guys as well. So there you have it. That is a wrap on another first impressions video here at Run4Adventure. Really hope you enjoyed it, guys. Also, I really hope you enjoyed seeing some road running back on the channel. It has been a while, and we have been quite sort of trail running dominant, and that's not the way I want the channel to go. I want it to maintain being very varied in its content. So if you've enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so you can keep up to date with future content. I've got a busy evening ahead of me getting things ready for the weekend. So we've got a big race down here in Cornwall on Sunday, the KVK. So you'll be watching this video on a Sunday, so we'll have already done the race, but I'm getting ready for it tonight because it is going to be the first race that the channel has ever sponsored. So a real exciting weekend ahead of us. We paired up with the Danish running apparel brand Sky, and they have put up some wicked prizes. So them guys who are gunning it at the front, pushing for podium places, they are in for a treat. We're also going to be taking the cameras, obviously, and I'm running, and we're doing something a little bit different in this race day video. So I really hope you enjoy it when we've finished it and it's up on the channel. Also, Innovative just sent me the new Park Claw G280. Really interesting shoe. Smells lovely. And smells like a new running shoe. That trainer smell, I really like that. Not all trainers smell like that these days, but this one does. Really interesting Innovate shoe. It's designed to cross over from road to trail, and it's an Innovate shoe with a padded tongue. So really excited to get out and run in these. Unfortunately, they size up quite small as well. So I've contacted Innovate, they're going to send me out half a size bigger, but we'll be taking them for their first run very soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But for now, guys, thanks for watching. It's always appreciated. And as always, stay safe and keep on running. Firmer than I expected. Not in a negative, uncomfortable way, just a little bit firmer. If you're new to the channel, you know what I mean?